beautiful Monday evening, and you're welcome to today's episode of Sports Hobby. My name is Apacho Sadiq Usman. Also, is in studio with me on today's edition of the program. All right, we'll begin straight from the go. Okay, we'll go on a break and when we come back, Sport Hobby continues.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Welcome back to Sports Hobby. In the course of the program, also our colleague Wale Ayeni will also join us all the way from the United Kingdom. But we'll begin straight from the under 17. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians will be happy at this moment because at the point it was looking like the Golden Eaglets were not going to make it to the second round, even though at the point in that match, the match at the point it was a draw at the point, but then we still had the hope, but it was safer to grab all 3 points, especially with the fact that the Zambians eventually won 2-1 against Morocco. But a hard-fought victory. I mean, if you had to come back from behind twice and eventually edge South Africa 3-2 in that very, very interesting encounter I saw at that game, and I must confess that I thoroughly enjoyed the match. It was beautiful on both sides, even the South Africans, beautiful football from their on 17 side. In fact, to the point that the on 17 coach looked back when they had to, give thumbs up to the man of the match and South African player at the end of the match. I must say that with this kind of display that not just Nigeria, that when you look at African football generally, if you look at the Moroccans, even the Senegalese, you see that the future is bright when it comes to, African football moving forward. But congratulations to the Eaglets for, qualifying. And of course, they have a date with Burkina Faso on Thursday.
Yeah, thank you. You get it right there in your analysis of this issue of an event. It's not about football, it's not just beautiful and more crucial goal for Africa. Whether you like it or not, normally say the future of the youth, and these are the next generation of the African footballers. It's a delight to see them beautiful game. That's why South Africa going down, they have their head high going down to the Nigerian side. And it was a very relief one for who to combat the I must confess, I was beginning the time I was so panicked as to what is going to happen. So thinking that these are the new generation of young players are just really good ways but of course, we are not somebody who always keep the program. Once the target is no longer there, we tend to forget everything we plan for. And God forbid if the team have made up qualification and match and made the qualification of the World Cup. Then everything about those things we just get the back and nobody talk about it. But it's good that we are still in the hunt for the World Cup ticket and congratulations to qualify that sport. Now the Coco and what we don't want of the big one is the quarterfinal match against the Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso are also one of the minors beating Cameroon in their own last match and they sort of qualified. It's going to be a tough one. There was Africa brother who both play at the World Cup region in the World Cup region. Obviously, it's going to be a dicey one. And I hope football, there's no regular person in football. So you just see that this is a regular customer. I always have an edge. But you see a team if I don't play tomorrow, despite that you have a better side of them, you have normally they have a superior edge, a superior head, wide. So it's going to be another 90 minutes and both the players and the player what we are just playing. We are not praying that we go to World Cup. We pray that we just our desire to just let this program continue. Let this program continue. That's all we are. Pray that this thing let the World Cup continue.
I mean, because like you said, because for instance, this boy did not make it to the World Cup, like you said, the program would have been abandoned. Next step would have been under 20, and I can assure you that when they are somebody under 20, maybe some of these boys will not do it because
there's no program for the
exactly. Yeah.
Trust Nigerian football. Once they didn't go beyond this, they will just forget it all every other. So and the next time you think about it, they will get another different set of people. But we hope we decide that we hope let this thing progress. And if you progress, so I can have the continuous program to build on people and let them be a team that you persist for that.
Yeah, so that match comes up on Thursday, 8 p.m. Nigeria time. I don't know if Wale has joined us. Wale, are you with us?
Of course, good evening to you, Afan, to you, Salifu, right there in the studio. Yes, I've been following the conversation about the Nigerian under 17 team, having them, qualify to play in the quarterfinals. For me, they have done well, but they still have to do more work due to the fact that they lost, their second group game. But there's still room for improvement against Burkina Faso. Also, it's not going to be an easy game for the Golden Eaglets because we know Burkina Faso are a very physical side and they play very well. They are very compact. And also, Ubade was actually ensure that his boys, put all their concentration in that particular game. And they should also try not to, avoid to concede goals because we know scoring goals is not a problem of the under 17, but for the ability, to concede goal, that is where the problem lies at this point in time. So they should ensure that they get to play very well, defend very well. The midfield must be airtight, also the defense, and also they should ensure that they get to protect their goalkeeper because I feel that has been a major issue when you look at the under 17 setup at this point in time. And also want to agree with you and Salifu right there, making the notes that if this under 17 team does not get to perform, we are not going to see some of those players who has played getting to see them progressing to the under 20 level. So there is every need for us to have a database for us to have this kind of promoting players from the under 17 to the under 20 to the under 23 and also up to the national team, and that will actually further improve the development and the growth of football right there in Nigeria.
Right. So now we move on to the NPFL. Of course, yesterday some interesting matches went down in the Nigerian Professional Football League, and for Benel Insurance still unbeaten in the league 2-1-1 with Shooting Stars yesterday. It was, well, interestingly, some clubs, I think the likes of Canada have already dropped down to the NLL as a result. I think they lost 1-0 to Lobby Stars. But for Aimba, Wiki Tourists, Benel Insurance almost assured of, the Super Six. And not yesterday was match with 17, just one more match for the whole league to completely be wrapped up, then we head straight into Super Six. But for Benel Insurance, fantastic run they've had all season yet to lose a match, though a couple of draws here, but those draws have not done much to hurt their ambition.
Yeah, if you say those draws have not done much to hurt their ambition, I mean, they have to be very careful in the last match. Yeah. Benel Insurance started very well, winning what is asking they are still leading the league. But on the better whole different, what if you look at it now, the last match now, the last match, we 70 was yesterday. So the last match now, and if you look at that group A, 4 teams are in top competition for the top three finish. Benel Insurance, Monster, Eaglets, and Upper United. All these teams still have a chance. Better insurance, fantastic well, still remain on the 17 match, yet to test defeat, but they are becoming a serious draw. They are almost like
But I mean, notwithstanding, I think they're going to cut
then they need to avoid defeat. And they also the defeat are also depending on the result of the other one. Look at the table there.
Yeah, I mean, it's at 1 point
Look at the
for
table there.
Aim, but who in second place, Standard Insurance at 2.5, Remo Stars 30 points. So, whichever way it is, Standard Insurance are almost.
We would have expected them. They're supposed to have been any qualification before the last match.
Yeah, we don't yeah, I think that Standard Insurance will be, of course, and on Group B table, the Stars still topping. I mean, clearly that's the Stars. But, okay, Rivers United haven't played 14. So, when Rivers United play all of these outstanding matches,
Well, I don't know how the IMC is going to fit into outstanding matches. They still have outstanding matches. And altogether, they still have 4 matches to play. Their second one, lost how many 3 points of the beginning and the man look this staff who are commanding that on top of the league, on top of the league. So that means obviously if River and Cow are able to win their match, then they will obviously win the party there. But then nobody started to never be there. They were thinking that most opportunities for the Bible was which means that no for the Thomas are quite
you know, I mean, I don't really feel much pity for the life of better insurance. I won't go all because even if you talk this week, you're still not. You haven't won anything. Still going for Super Six. So I think at this point, what everybody needs to do is just let's make it to the Super Six, and from there we'll see what happens. So for me, I think that is the downside of an average year.
Yes, I agree with the downside of average. Whatever is wrong with you, it's not guaranteed. What you is supposed to just like in athletic meets.
Yeah.
All you see athletes in the final, all the just get the qualification.
Yeah.
It's not only all that even though we finish first, we are all winning. We are not one medal, don't get the qualification. But the final is that we either get medal or the medal. So what they are all playing for now is let me get to the final four. I want to get to the final four.
All right, so that's that for the NPFL. Well, we'll go on a short break and then we'll come back and continue.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back to that break. It's still Sports Orbit. Now for the Under-20 World Cup, which is supposed to kick off 20th of May, Nigerian Flying Eagles will be participating in that tournament. And recall that they are in a group where many of bookmakers have described as the group of death. Wale, if you are still with us, Nigeria have been placed alongside the likes of Italy, Brazil also in that group, then Dominican Republic. But a lot of people, think the Dominican Republic might be the whipping boys of the group. But, some of us have objected to this because you see how they even qualify for this tournament, follow through a very difficult qualification process, and every team who is currently in that group has stands a chance. But looking at the Flying Eagles, do you think the Flying Eagles have what it takes to make it out of this group?
Of course, no doubt about it. It's going to be difficult for the Ladamboso and his boys because when you even look at the way we qualify to the World Cup, it was just by Sherlock, if I may say, in that particular one. So it's going to be difficult, no doubt about it. When you are playing Brazil, who has a solid, robust, system when it comes to how they get to manage, football and how they get to, bring up new talent to the run of that game. It will be a very, very, difficult team. And I don't forget, there's no more minus when it comes to football at this point in time. I've seen how smaller teams, are getting to upstage, bigger teams in code. So at this point in time, Ladamboso should not actually take any game, for granted. I feel his first two game, he needs to actually, get a good result, if he fancy a chance of progressing, to the next stage of the competition, because you can't afford, to go down in your first game, because if you go down in your first game, in your second game, you'll be at a very, very disadvantaged position. You'll be on more, pressure for you to actually get to win games. And when you are in much, pressure, it opens your defense up. It opens, your goalkeeper to a lot of danger. So I feel, the first game in that particular competition will be, he should give all his best. He should ensure that he gets, the needed 3 points in that particular game to ensure that they start the competition on the right foot. And when you look at the player, selection at this point in time, we know, uproar has been there left, right, and center due to, some of those players he has invited and some of those players he has selected, for that particular competition. But we should ensure that all hands will be on deck to support the Flying Eagles and to ensure that they make it to the next stage of the competition. And from there, we can start, picking it up from, the next round of the competition, Alpha.
Some people for the under 20 competition, Nigeria runners up twice, 89, 2005, haven't never won it in spite of participating in 12 times, participating there 12 times. Going into this tournament, a lot of people have issues with the coaching crew. Having that also who have been there for a very long time. And are you really optimistic that Nigeria can really go far in this tournament?
Well, obviously, I can't tell you I'm optimistic about the year of being far in this tournament, but sometimes miracle always happen in football. But obviously, if you look at the statistics on the ground, apart from the ground, there's nothing possible that has a chance. Only really full chance of progressing. You're going for this competition. But to me, first, it's very, very light and it's very a whole lot of excitement for Nigerians if we scale to the first one by qualifying for the second one. For the second one, what in the competition like this, once you get back to your second one, anything can happen because luck is part of football. So if I see Nigeria progress to the quarterfinal, I will get to the semi-final. Now, we're going to play of luck. But you can be a team that even just how many we are still surprised to select who they have to play, who are going to take the competition. Well, obviously by now, most of our competitors are already aware, quite aware of who are going to be 4 months back. But just like saying, right from the coaching crew down to the players. So, obviously, apart from the few players who play and most of who excel, private people who excel at the African Championship. Most of them are just and looking at Logam, because I'm also Logam is an experience which has been made for a very long time. The last time he took us to the World Cup and the other Canada 2007, the best we could get, even when that will have some players, players who can call their name and everybody can yes, try to pay attention to their name. And the rest will go get the quarter final. And then when we get out of the quarter final, we will play the three, our person out of the quarter final on race. And but even at the last half of the week, yes, the team that was strong, and now we are being beat against what the best football nations in the world, Italy and Brazil. But Nigeria is not the minor that even Brazil and Italy, notwithstanding our predicament, I also try to be mindful of what they are doing in the past. But let's handle it to master whichever way it goes. I'm not going to be surprised. If you crash up your structure, I'm not disappointed. If we progress, then I'll say that God is on our side.
Yeah. All right. Two Champions League returns tomorrow with the first semi-final. Madrid will be hosting Man City in that all-important clash. Ahead of that encounter, Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti has said some warning shots to Man City, saying that look, we are ready to compete. This is the semi-final. We know that they're close to the final, and we're playing at home, so it's going to be basically 12 against 11. Going into this match, a lot of people predicting and all of that. Some people feel that this time around, Man City might just get it done over Madrid in the course of two legs, especially being that Man City will play the second leg at the Etihad. But for some of us, I really don't share that that school of thought. I mean, when it comes to the Champions League, even if Madrid are not doing too well, somehow they know how to navigate their way in this competition. Don't forget that just over the weekend they won Copa del Rey once again, and going against Man City tomorrow, they're going with lots of confidence to try and answer.
Yeah, if you're looking at the fast of ground, looking at what the way massive are playing, so you be very you be in haste to put your money for massive.
Yeah.
Except for yes, and if you look at the way they easily dispersed by Monday, clearly show that Man City has survived. And the Man City that play against by Madrid at this level last season, it's not the same Man City we are seeing this time around. We have seen a complete Man City that is firing from every angle, no time to the arrival of apart from Haaland. If you want their match against United, one
But Man City struggled a bit against Leeds United over the
oh,
weekend.
yeah, they're strong, but they're still score three goals. From
Some to 2-1, yeah, 2-1.
three goals.
Not much.
Three goals, I think, yes, 2-1, sorry, 2-1. It was 2-1, there was still one in the match. And if you also they won their match against West Ham, one setting player, so they had to not do Haaland.
Yeah.
So, these are clearly show that the Man City has to compete. But just like Madrid are not
It's a
masters,
different
are not
kettle of
the
fish,
masters of Champions League. No matter how much, one thing you can't take away from Madrid, whichever way they are playing, when it is just a knockout competition, that it's an elimination stage, Madrid always know how to find their way around. So, but it's going to be, to me, I see this Champions League as a final for final. And it's
Very well. I mean, this should have been the final.
Yes, the Man City are going to be very, very mindful of what Man City is going to do. Whoever wins between Man City and the champion is going to be champion. But I don't see the entire or a single man stopping whoever the match of this from this final.
Well, Wale, if you're still with us, do you share in Sadifu's opinion, saying whoever wins this encounter are likely to emerge winners? You know, this is football. Sometimes you never know when it just cracks. Wale.
Of course, if you look at both teams at this point in time, they're on fire. You agree with me that Real Madrid are the most experienced team when it comes to the Champions League in the whole world. And looking at how many they've been able to win in the past edition of the Champions League, no doubt about it. Manchester City, they're on team on fire at this point in time. They want to prove a point that what happened last season was just a fluke. And at this point in time, Pep Guardiola knows that what he's actually looking for at this dying moment is the Champions League. He has won the FA Cup, he has won the Premier League at this point in time. So he will be focusing all his attention in the Champions League because he knows that a win of if they get to win the Champions League, then he has actually not achieved all what he wants to achieve when it comes to football in Manchester City at this point in time. But when you look at their current form, you agree with me that Man City are the better side going into this particular game. But we know that the experience of Real Madrid in the Champions League cannot be overemphasized because Ancelotti also he has won the Champions League. He knows what it takes to actually win the Champions League at this point in time. And most of the players in Man City, they're just coming. Some of them are yet to win the Champions League. While we have a lot of players from the Real Madrid side who has won the Champions League and they know what it takes to win the Champions League at this point in time. And you agree with me that their last meeting last season was in the same, semi-finals of the Champions League, and we saw how Real Madrid, came back, from the dead and to actually, get to win, that particular match for them to, qualify for the finals and eventually emerge champions of the Champions League. So it's going to be a cracker. I know that Man City will be going on a revenge mission, and I hope that they get to win. For them just to eat pressure on Pep Guardiola at this point in time. But a game of football, anything can happen. Never say never until the final whistle. Wishing both teams all the best at this point in time. But when you look at it on paper, Manchester City needs to proceed, to the finals of the Champions League alpha.
All right. Of course, we take a look at the EPL interesting matches going down in the course of the weekend. Of course, the big one everyone was looking forward to was Newcastle Arsenal game. Of course, United West Ham in that one. And I mean, against all odds, a lot of people considering the form that Newcastle has been in currently in their last four or so matches, a lot of people had felt that look, it was going to be difficult for Arsenal. But somehow Arsenal grind out a 2-0 win against Newcastle. I mean, interesting, away at St. James Park, a very difficult place to always go, and that has put them right 1 point behind Man City, although with a game in hand for Man City. Looking at this Arsenal side, I think whatever happens at the end of the day, I think Arteta and boys should be proud of themselves. Main objective from the beginning, like he has stated clearly, was to make it to the Champions League, which that has been fulfilled already. So it's just to see if they can still give City the run for their money and see if they can clinch the title.
Well, the main objective for any group is to play on the market, play what you have. The moment you want to the next target is to have built.
Yeah.
So the fact that you are going, your target is to get a qualification for Champions or finish second and have opportunity to win the league and throw it away. You should also play yourself. Arsenal have this league in their hand to win this league. But unfortunately, somehow, anyhow, or by everything. And I think Premier League Arteta for it because of the way he played against Liverpool. He lost the title, not the match against Man City. He lost the title in the game against Liverpool when he has already go through with has already sharp with that match. He lost against the match against the three draw against Liverpool and against Liverpool, West Ham and Southampton. That's what all Arsenal is like. The same thing he did last year when he lost the same thing, but he was happy that he won at Newcastle. I was also surprised that they were able to get it. But that's something about Arsenal. When you feel that they're able to cry, that you walk out. When you say that perform, that's not disappointing. But to me, I was the big surprise is that they really give them a chance to one. I think the best is not to get at Newcastle. I mean, looking at the way we want Newcastle at this past season that come down in the same last 4 or 5 months. But for Arsenal to get there this year and go silent for me, one, but let's how you go to be because I see now Arsenal has won the title. I don't think Man City will lose the title for Arsenal.
Wale, quickly Newcastle Arsenal. Of course, and for the other match, United West Ham, when Newcastle have dropped point, you might think it should have been a chance for United to go back to third position. But yet another schoolboy error from the year cost United that match. In the other game against Brighton, also after the match was almost done and dusted, then a silly mistake by Luke Shaw also cost United 2 back-to-back defeats, and this is not looking good at this point of the season for United.
Of course, at this point in time, Manchester United must just need to watch it because a certain Liverpool is just behind them with just a point. Despite the fact that Manchester United still have a game in hand, but they should just watch it. A certain Liverpool want to qualify for the Champions League, and they want to do that, and they're actually winning games to achieve that. And it's just so disappointing for Ten Hag at this point in time. No doubt about it. Manchester United have good players, but they are playing individually. They are not playing as a team. I think that's what is really affecting them because you look at the likes of Rashford and Tony, they don't want to play the ball for their strikers to score. Everybody wants to take on 1 or 2 defenders and get to shoot at goal, which is not really working at this point in time for them. And when you look at the game between Arsenal and Newcastle, of course, St. James Park is a very difficult ground to play. We saw how Tottenham went there and they got battered in that particular one. It was only Liverpool that have went there to actually get to win. Same scoreline which Arsenal did yesterday. A very impressive performance, from Arsenal. Arsenal, I actually agree with Salifu. They threw away, the title, during those matches against, as he has mentioned, Southampton, Liverpool, and West Ham. The 2 painful games was West Ham and Southampton. They were supposed to win those games, but they actually, bottled it. But at this point in time, it's still the Premier League. Anything can happen. Manchester City still have the likes of Chelsea. They still have Everton. I feel they might drop point when they played at the Goodison Park against Everton because Everton will want to play and put that self and the front foot. Who knows? Anything can still happen. We still have Man City has 4 games to go. Arsenal has 3 games to go. You can never tell. This is a game of football. We saw how Manchester City came from behind to win. during the likes of Sergio Aguero, the afternoon scored the last goal. He might actually go to the wire the last day. Who knows? Anything can still happen. Arsenal still in the title race, Alpha.
Right. Of course, today, one more match to go than EPL, the relegation battle between Southampton against Nottingham Forest much later today.
Like you know, but it's very unfortunate that Nigeria has started all over playing. Just becoming the best one. You know, if the leaders are fair.
Yeah.
Nigeria will be very interested to see how Nigeria will go back to some the way it is now, I think it's a starting state at sea.
Yeah.
So the Nottingham Forest still have chance to back for the finals. And let's say I do to not match very key. So Nottingham Forest will feel like to get it because at least that ease them forward.
All right, that's our package on today's edition of the
Just to let you know,
on today's edition
of course,
right, Sandro, thank you once again for being in the studio on this Monday edition of Sports on. Right, until you come your way tomorrow, do have a lovely time out there. My name is Akwato.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.